90 years of Igbobi College producing leaders yesterday, today and tomorrow is really the story of Nigeria. In this multi-part documentary celebrating the 90th anniversary of the founding of Igbobi College, Yaba, Lagos, Nigeria, we look at the high points and the low points of Nigeria's transition from British colony to independent nation, from independent nation to federal republic. This documentary will attempt to chart the path of Nigeria's nationhood to produce a map that reflects the sometimes perilous journey of Igbobi College from merely producing upstanding, educated natives for the benefit of the colonial government and the missionary societies, for the harvest was great and the laborers few, to producing outstanding boys who will become community, national and international leaders. We will attempt to peek into Nigeria's future and the role of Igbobi College in that future as a producer of leaders for a changing world. What will become clear to you as we journey through the past to arrive at the present is that Igbobi College, like Eton, like Harrow, and the other great British public schools it was modeled on, can be, should be, and will be the preeminent institution for the production of servant leaders Nigeria so desperately needs to attain the greatness she truly deserves. Let's be clear that this documentary is not just about significant events in the journey of Nigeria's nationhood through the lens of the development of Igbobi College. This documentary is about ordinary men and women just like you, who took on the extraordinary challenge of building a great institution. An institution that has made its mark on the sands of time and will, by God's grace and the support of all stakeholders like you, continue to withstand the test of time. Ultimately, the 90th anniversary documentary seeks to uncover the X factor, that undefinable yet explicit quality that has and continues to make Igbobi College the outstanding institution it is today and will continue to be tomorrow.
Of course, Reverend J. Angus was our principal when I was there. And of course, we had in the morning, he would say prayer, and in the evening, he would also say prayer.
It was the go-getting attitude of Igbobi that spurred me on.
Certain noble virtues that were emphasized. They were just the things that had to be done. Loyalty.
We learned so much about loyalty. Wherever you are looking for a noble Nigerian, look for an Igbobian.
It's deep. If you look at every line has a meaning. And then the favorite one, which we all refer to and we sing with pride, wherever there's an Igbobian, there also is a noble Nigerian.
There was a passionate ownership of every member of that institution, teachers and students alike. There was like a cult following on ownership. This is ours.
Then I had Mr. Igbobi as my English teacher, and Mr. Ogulesi as my geography teacher.
The likes of Baba, for instance, Talabi Igbobi, had taught even our parents, who were the old Igbobians, and he had caned them.
Any parent will tell you that the birth of a child marks the end of a journey and the beginning of another. Many cultures look for astrological, physical, or metaphysical signs at the time of birth to portend the future of the child in question. In the case of Igbobi College, absolutely nothing in the circumstance of her birth spoke of the greatness of her future. 90 years ago, this piece of land represented a reinvestment of profits gained of a barbaric trade. A notorious slave trader reinvesting the proceeds of her crime in the planting of kola nut trees on farmland she owned. But let's pause here for a moment to reflect on the nature of the kola nut tree and the significance of the fruit that bears its name. Let's think about the type of soil this tree needs to produce a rich harvest, a harvest of leaders. Leaders aptly described in Psalm 1, verse 3. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that brings forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he does shall prosper. Unsurprisingly, the kola nut tree is known for its regal height, its deep roots and broad leafy boughs, providing nurture for all that seek its shade. The kola nut tree bears fruit of such significance that the nut from which the tree bears its name was and still is considered to be a fit and proper offering for the gods. You could say that the land on which I stand is the nexus between a slave trader, fruit of the gods, and the dream of ordinary men and women, inspired by the gospel of Christ to build a boys' school. A boys' school that would bring together the best of their joint experience in education. The land on which I stand marks the very end of a long string of conversations between two men who have never fully featured in the story of Igbobi College. The land on which I stand represents the fruition of the dream of these two men, through whom and because of whom Igbobi College came into being. Who are these unsung midwives of our great and noble institution? What X factor did they contribute to the Igbobi College DNA of producing leaders?
If you ask me what it is about Igbobi College now that makes it stand out, it has to do with the passion the old students have.
The contribution of ICOBA has made Igbobi College a wonderful place to even put your own child.
Irrespective of your status, irrespective of your background, irrespective of where you are coming from, we see ourselves as one, and not just one in the Lord.
I don't know, maybe my ideas are too radical, but I'm looking at what it was before, what some of the old students talk about, that, hang on, which church did this person belong to? Who was our principal? They didn't know. It didn't matter. It was just the good of the college. We have to get to that level again.
We know the glory of Igbobi College is coming back.